Hello everyone, salutations. So today we are going to begin with skill set 3 of standard 11 Maharashtra State Board syllabus, and the name of the lesson is client side scripting JavaScript. Okay, so the question is SOP 1 we are going to perform. The question is create JavaScript program for the following using appropriate variables, JavaScript inbuilt functions and control structures. Okay. So three questions are given in this SOP. Okay. The first question is to accept integer and display the result by multiplying it with 3. It's very, very simple. Okay. So as you can see, I have already opened Notepad application and typed the basic structure of HTML. Okay. So now we are going to proceed with rest of the coding. So to use JavaScript, to perform JavaScript coding, see, you can perform JavaScript coding individually, I mean totally independently, as well as embedding it with HTML. In HTML, we saw there are several disadvantages. There are several shortcomings. Like using HTML, we cannot do any calculations. Okay, then there is no provision of uh, updating date time. Then there is no provision if you are entering anything inside form. That means form data. Okay, there is no provision of doing any validation. Okay, so these are some major shortcomings of HTML. Okay, and it is totally static, very very static scripting language. Okay, it's not interactive. That means it does not anything have anything like you can provide some input to your HTML coding, and as per your input the program is going to give you some modified output. Okay, so it is just some set of tags. You are using same tags, same attributes, and sometimes the value is also predefined. Okay, so all the predefined things you are using and creating static web pages which do not have any interactivity. Now, if you want to add all these features, interactivity, validation, okay, updation of date time, all those shortcomings, if you want to overcome, you can simply use JavaScript scripting language. You can embed JavaScript snippets or code, okay, JavaScript code in your HTML coding and remove all the disadvantages, all the shortcomings of HTML. So now your HTML coding will be much interactive. That means it will be capable of accepting inputs, and according to the inputs, it can do some calculation and give the output depending on your input. Okay, so now your programs are not going to be static, it's going to be interactive. Okay, you can also call dynamic web pages. Okay, then after that you can also update date time. There are several features. Okay, you can say there are objects in JavaScript which allows the user to update date time and other things, okay, in your web pages or the websites. Then you can also perform form validation. All these are major advantages of JavaScript. Okay, so now so theoretically I gave you a very little background. So now we are going to embed JavaScript code in our HTML coding. Okay, so that's why I have typed the basic structure of HTML till body tag. You are familiar with this? Now, to use JavaScript code, you must use this HTML tag known as script tag. Okay, and it has an attribute known as language. Language is equal to provide the value JavaScript. Now, pay attention. When you type JavaScript, it should be a single word. Don't give a gap between Java and script. Okay, so you can see this is also an HTML tag because it is surrounded in angular brackets. Anything surrounded in angular brackets is HTML tag. Okay, so that means, see, each and every tag is a command to the web browser. Okay, so This script tag is a command to the web browser. That means after this, whichever lines we are having, they represent JavaScript scripting language, not HTML language. Means that we are informing the browser, okay, that from this point, the scripting language is going to change from HTML to JavaScript. So HTML has this tag known as script tag, okay, because HTML allows embedding of other scripting languages into it. Okay, so HTML has a very good advantage that it allows other scripting languages to embed in HTML. Okay, so even though HTML has disadvantages, you can use other scripting languages, embed them in HTML coding and empower your HTML code. Okay, HTML coded web page. All right, so now I hope so you understand the use of this tag known as script tag. It is a container tag. It is going to contain everything related to JavaScript. Okay. Now, after this, we are going to the now we can start JavaScript. Okay. Now, JavaScript coding and HTML coding is totally different. As you can see, HTML coding every line we have tags. Okay, but Angular brackets are not there in JavaScript. Okay. So first of all, what you need to do now, we are going to do mathematical calculation. Okay. So we already applied lot of effects to the text using HTML, heading effect, paragraph effect, for text formatting effect. We made hyperlinks. Okay. Then we inserted image, table, form in our web page. After doing all these things, now we are going to do mathematical calculation. Okay. So first of all, in JavaScript, you must provide a variable, declare a variable. To declare a variable, use the keyword var. Var stands for variable. You have to use a keyword var. Okay. So var means you are declaring a variable. A variable means you are providing a memory location. A very small part of memory location in which numbers can be stored or the values can be stored. Not necessary values, because JavaScript also does operations with the help of text, string, many things. Okay. So number is one of its type, data type. Okay. So to perform any type of operation, first you should declare variable. Variable means you are allotting a little bit memory location in which some kind of value can be stored. It can be a number, it can be text, it can be string, it can be anything. Okay. So now we are going to store numbers, because what we want to do, our question is to accept integer value. Integer value is a number. Okay, accept integer value and multiply it with 3 and display the result. Okay, so you can accept any value from the user. User may enter 4, 5, 10, 20, any value. But multiply that value with 3. Constant value 3. Very easy. So first of all, we will declare a variable. Okay, so now we will register a little bit space so that user, whatever the value is entered by the user is stored in that space. Okay, because a user can enter any number value and any digit. Okay, the number of digits, it totally depends upon the user. Single digit number, two digit number, three digit number, whatever user wants to enter. Okay, so we will first of all provide a little bit memory. So how to provide little bit memory? Declare a variable, use var keyword and provide a variable. Now variable name can be, I am giving a variable name num. Now inside this variable, user will store value. Okay, let's proceed. You will understand. Now we have to accept value from the user. So I am going to use this built-in function or the inbuilt function known as prompt function. Okay, to accept value from the user. In double quotes, I am going to provide the message enter a number. I am going to ask the user to enter a number. Okay, with the help of prompt function. A dialog box will come, you will see the output. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's see the output of this. Okay, So we will do the coding part by part. Script close, body close, and HTML close. Okay. So everything in angular brackets represent HTML language. Now inside the container of the string, okay, what we have done, not much. We have declared a variable known as num where some value can be stored. Okay, and we gave an inbuilt function known as prompt which gives a dialog box with a text box to the user to enter some number. So whatever number is entered by the user is going to be stored in this variable known as num. Okay, let's see what happens. So I will save the code, Control S from the keyboard. Then I will use this folder available in desktop. Okay, so you can create a folder. Now let me demonstrate you folder creation. For example, in desktop, if you want to create a folder, so choose desktop or choose documents wherever you want to create a folder. Let me create a folder in documents. Okay, so I selected documents, then use this button known as new folder. See, a new folder has been created. So here I will change the name of the folder as JavaScript to store all the JavaScript codes. Okay, and click on open. Okay, so now this folder has been created. First of all, you have to double click on this folder. The folder is opened. Okay, the name of the folder should be visible in this manner. Now provide the file name. Now see, everything is in HTML. Okay, most of the things, opening tag, closing tag, opening of the document, closing of the document, most of the part is in HTML. So the extension will also be HTML. I mean .html. Okay, it's not an independent JavaScript code because JavaScript code is embedded, included inside the HTML coding. So the extension will remain .html. I'm going to give the file name as product, okay, for multiplication. Product.html, okay, and I'm pressing enter from the keyboard. Okay, so the file has been saved. Let's go to the file. Our file is in the our file is available in the desktop, correct? So we have to go to the desktop. I will click on this folder icon available in taskbar, then going in documents. In documents, I created this folder JavaScript. Okay, go to your folder. See, this file is available. We have saved the file product.html. Right click on the file, then open with, use any browser, Google Chrome. I'm using Google Chrome. Okay, so I will demonstrate with Google Chrome as well as Internet Explorer. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to execute in Google Chrome. See, as soon as the browser loaded, you see this is known as the prompt box. This is the prompt box and enter a number. What is this enter a number? Is the text which we provided here. Enter a number. Okay, so text box is available where I can enter a number and there are two buttons OK and cancel. So right now I didn't do anything to perform multiplication. So now there is no use of typing any number. Okay, I just wanted to see the prompt box is displaying properly or not. So the prompt box is displaying. That is the use of inbuilt function prompt in JavaScript. It provides a prompt prompt dialog box so that user can enter a value. It can be a number value, text value, string value, any type of value. Okay, so you can use OK or cancel. I'll click cancel. Okay, because I know nothing is going to happen. The coding is not complete. That's why. Now I'm going to demonstrate this with Internet Explorer. Open with option Internet Explorer. So please pay attention. I'm going to close this first of all. Now, in Internet Explorer, first of all, it asks, okay, because temporarily it has blocked the content. Okay, why it has blocked the content? The message reads Internet Explorer restricted this web page from running scripts or ActiveX controls. So it is basically asking us whether this coding is safe to execute or not. Okay, so we know it is very safe, so we have to click on allowed block content. Now this thing is only specifically asked in Internet Explorer. Okay, so now see explore explorer user prompt. Okay, so this is the prompt dialog box, and see the message is over here. Enter a number, same thing, a text box is there, and okay cancel button is there. First of all, if you want to enter a number, first of all you can directly type the number or else use backspace. Okay, now you enter the number, for example 3, and you can click on OK, otherwise from keyboard press enter button. Nothing is going to happen because we didn't give anything for multiplication right now. But the prompt dialog box is successfully getting executed. Okay, so now I will close it. Let's proceed with our coding. Okay, so now what we have to do? So we can accept number from the user. The next step is to multiply this number entered over here. Okay, so if you enter any number, that is going to be saved in this. Okay, so our number is saved in this variable. Okay, so that is why variable is declared, because variable, in the variable you are storing values. Okay, so now why it is important to store values, you may also ask. We can directly store numbers. Okay, but the program is going to be very restricted, because see, if you declare the number, for example number 3. Okay, so that means every time whenever you execute this coding, it is going to multiply 3 into 3 only. Okay, but what if you want to multiply 12 into 3 or 45 into 3? Okay, so the program is not, it is going to be only one time use. That is why the variables are declared, because in a variable you can store any value, whatever you want. And if you use this prompt dialog box, it is going to ask every time. Whenever you execute this code, every time it is going to ask the user to enter a number. That means the program is, it can be used multiple times. It is not going to be a one time coding. Okay. Now, in JavaScript, in most of the programming languages, the statements end with a semicolon. But in JavaScript, it is optional. But it becomes compulsory if you are typing multiple statements in a single line. Okay? But if you are typing in different lines, then this semicolon is not a compulsion. Okay? Now, first of all, we will create a variable. Once again, we are going to create a variable. Okay, so you can do in this manner also. Declare all the variables that you will need in a single line. First of all, declare the variable. Okay, so now we will declare the multiple variables that we will need. First of all, num. Num we will need to accept the value from the user and store it. Okay, and we will need another variable. Don't give any comma. Product to store the answer of the multiplication. Okay, now we will use this variable product equal to our value entered by the user is stored in num, so we will provide that variable. Num multiplication operator 3. We have to multiply it with 3. Okay. So now this is the logic. This is the logical statement to multiply the number. Num is the value entered by the user through prompt dialog box, which is going to be saved in the variable num. Okay. So num, whatever value is entered by the user. For example, if user is entering 20, it is getting stored in this num. So the value of num is 20, 20 into 3. If the user is entering value 50, so 50 into 3. Okay, and this answer is going to be saved in this another variable known as product. So we are using two variables. One to store the value entered by the user. The another to store the product after multiplying it with 3. Okay. And finally, we will display the output with the help of document object. document. Okay. Now, actually, document means what? I'll explain you. Let me first type and execute it. Dot write. Dot write is the method. And in the string, we can, okay, let the string be entered after some time. First, we will just try to display the answer. Our answer is stored in this variable known as product. So I am providing the variable name product. Okay. And script tag is already closed. Body is closed and HTML is also closed. So saving the file. Now once again we will try to open the output. Our folder is here. Okay, I will refresh it once again. Refresh the screen, right click. Okay, so I will use Google Chrome. So first of all, we have to enter a number. I am entering 5, pressing enter from the keyboard, and 5 into 3 is 15. See, the multiplication is already performed. I will zoom the screen so that you can see it properly. Alright, so the multiplication is getting performed. Okay. Now, let us frame this output properly. To present this output more properly, we will use a string. Always enter string in double quotes. As you can see, enter a number is also a string. It is also in double quotes. Okay. So, I will type here multiplication of the number entered by the user is. Okay. So, now and give a gap. Alright, let's leave the gap for now. We will understand why we need that gap later. So this is the string from double quote opening to the double quote closing. And this is the variable name which holds the answer of the multiplication. Both need to be joined. Both need to be joined with the help of a concatenation operator. Concatenation operator joins two string. Okay, string or string plus variable name. Okay, now this plus symbol is known as addition operator as well as concatenation operator. Concatenation means now it is going to concatenate this string with the variable name. So now control S. Yes, if you want to give semicolon, you can give semicolon, but but it's optional in JavaScript. It becomes compulsory only when you are typing multiple statements in single line. That means you are typing prompt statement, then giving a semicolon, then typing product statement, means all these three different statements in one single line. That time it becomes compulsory to provide semicolon to separate the different statements. Okay. So now control S, and the browser is already open. So I will refresh. Refresh means the program is going to execute once again. It's asking for some number. I will type 3, pressing enter. So see this. The string and the variable which is holding the multiplication. Okay. This is presented, but there is no gap between them. So to provide a gap, I will give a gap after is. Refresh. Okay, once again giving value 10. Okay, now see, this is the output. Multiplication of the number entered by the user is 30. Okay, so what to do if you want to print the number also which is entered by the user? Okay, so let's do some little more creativity. Okay, so I want to print the number entered by the user also. Okay, so multiplication of the number entered by the user. Okay, now what is entered by the user? I'll give a double quote. I will stop the string here and give a concatenation. Okay, concatenation. And what is the name of the variable where the number is stored? It is num. Okay, so provide the variable name num, give a concatenation and surround this is with double quotes and one gap like this. Okay, so now how many things are getting concatenated? This string number one, then this variable which is holding the value entered by the user, separated, each thing is separated. Now this is again a string that we want in our output, and once again concatenation. So each single thing is separated with concatenation. Okay, now let's see the output. Refresh, enter the number. So now I will enter 30. Okay, but there is lack of the gaps. Multiplication of the number entered by the user 30 is okay. So we have to give gaps. Here we will give a gap, and here we will add with 3. Okay, we are multiplying it with 3. Now let's see what happens. Okay, one gap is added here. So I think so there is no more need of a gap over here. We will give a gap here. Control S and refresh. 30, enter. Now see. Okay, we need a gap over here. Before with, we will need a gap. Alright, Control S, refresh. Let's enter 10. Enter. See, now it looks so good. Multiplication of the number entered by the user 10 with 3. 10 threes are is 30. Okay, so this is how you can modify the statement of the output as you like. As you like. Okay, so I will stop the coding here only. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot, please take a screenshot in this manner. I'm sorry, and let me give an enter from here. Okay, and perform step by step, you will definitely get the output. So other questions also I'm going to perform and upload the video. So this question ends here only. So SOP1 has 2 more questions which will be uploaded as well. Take care everybody. See you in the next video.